In the past 4 years, I've managed to build a personal brand on YouTube and Instagram while being at a full-time remote job. My biggest superpower is not my talent or intelligence, but my ability to manage time and energy more effectively. I do not wake up at 5 am. In fact, I sleep 8 to 10 hours every day. I do not follow a set routine. And I scroll Instagram for almost 4 hours every day. So how exactly am I able to get everything done? My planning actually starts a little earlier than you'd expect. The truth is, my day actually starts one night before. There are 3 big things that we have to finish tomorrow. I have to wake up and go to the gym. I have to record one video, which is the video editing episode number 2. Then in evening, I have been invited to a movie premiere. And just to give you like a very realistic picture, I am not this productive every single day. So one night before, I would just take my notebook and I would open up 2 apps on my computer. So one is Todoist and the other is called Structured. Once I've written down my plan, I feel ready for the next day.
Try an exercise जहाँ तू अपने स्टूडेंट से डिटैच होकर
As soon as I stepped out, it started to rain heavily. So I decided, let's move the plan. This always happens, by the way. And I thought, let's make the YouTube video before I go to the gym. So I did a few push-ups just to make sure I don't feel itna guilty. Now I'm ready. It's 9:30. I'm gonna go to my studio, which is right upstairs to my house, and start recording the video. So this is my studio. Last night I was working, that's why the entire setup is very, very messy. So today I am recording episode 2 of our video editing course. But even before I record, I would just go through the entire script one more time. Alright, finally video record ho gaya hai. It took almost 2.5-3 hours just to record the video. In the middle, I had a sync with my team. So basically we have to organize what we have to do for the week. We have a Slack channel jahan pe we coordinate all of our uploads. So wahan pe we would get like a quick overview of everything that's been happening so far. There's a bunch of tools that I use. So we use Notion, Todoist, Structured, and then Make. Now Make is this all-in-one productivity tool that helps you automate a lot of your work. And I would like to thank Make because they are the sponsors of this video as well. So let me show you how exactly do we use Make to make our automations more seamless. Now I'll tell you how this works, right? They have a bunch of scenarios and these scenarios are essentially automations. So once I log into Make, if I show you their templates that are already available, you'd realize that there are so many templates that you can just pick and use, right? So post a message with a new tweet from a watch Twitter account, right? Send a Gmail email from a new Google Sheets row. Like, oh, you waste so much of time doing these small things, and I'll tell you where does this help us. So every week we release a video releasing all the latest updates in the world of tech. And throughout the week, my team and I are just looking for, interesting experiments and life-changing projects. So we've subscribed to a lot of newsletters like The Rundown, AI Breakfast, all of those things, and they keep me updated. But the issue with so many subscriptions is that how do I keep a track of what has come when? And it all sort of gets mixed up in my Gmail. So what we've done is that we've created a bunch of automations, right? So we've created a scenario that sends all of my important newsletters into a Google Sheet. Right? So in that Google Sheet, I have a proper well-organized layout of every single newsletter heading, and for every single topic, I would know that, okay, at this date, this is the news item that has come place. So Make allows users to connect different apps and create automations between them without any coding whatsoever. And it's very, very simple. So if I click on create a new scenario, you can basically select the applications with which you can plug things together. So they have a bunch of apps. They've collaborated with over 1,800 applications and they have over 6,000 templates that you can choose from. And you can choose multiple domains. So it could be something for marketing or for sales or for CRM, even for customer support. And there is so much that you can do because now that these automations are taking care of all of this manual copy pasting, it just becomes so easy right? So I'll show you 3 use cases that you can use to save your time and improve your efficiency, whether you're a content creator or a freelancer or even an entrepreneur. And the first use case is to get a database of newsletters on a Google Sheet directly from your email account. The second use case is to schedule meetings on Google Calendar from your Notion. So basically, I have a Notion page where I can put in my team name and I can put in the calendar and the duration. And in one single place, I will have all of my meetings with their notes, with all of the project files linked together. I don't have to manually go to my Google Calendar and add people to it. So this would automatically set up calls with my team in just a few seconds. The third use case is to create a Notion database from Google Form responses. So we host a lot of workshops across the country. So it's always very handy to have a list of videographers in every city, right? So what we do is we would usually put up a Google form, and then when we have to shortlist, instead of like going through all of those responses and going through each and every email and like collecting those things, we have one single place where all of the responses are neatly stacked together. Now, Make supports more than 1800 applications and services. So if you're planning to improve your productivity with automated tasks, you can easily do this using Make. And I would recommend you to first try it out for free. See if it even makes sense to you. And once you learn the platform, the core plan will cost you around $9 a month, and the pro plan will cost you $16 a month when billed annually. Now, let me show you how the rest of my day went. And now that I'm done recording all of my main content, it's time to get some sleep, have some snacks, and then we'll go to the next event, which is in the evening. Now, once my work was done, I had my lunch, which had sabzi, rice, and Thai green curry. I again had a bunch of review calls with my team and editors, and I always make sure that while I'm working, there's a big glass of water on my desk. When I get too bored, I simply read a few pages of a book. At this point, I have one book in every corner of my house, and I'm always reading 2 to 3 books in parallel just to keep myself entertained. Beach mein, I would just step out, take a break, look at the trees, do some deep breathing. I feel like it helps me feel a lot better because I'm mostly indoors working. Sometimes I would even jump on a trampoline I bought online. This helps me improve my blood flow. Tab tak shaam ho jati hai, and then it's time for some fruits for my sugar craving. I also try to eat some soaked almonds or dates or walnuts. I feel like they're really good for your brain. By the time it's 5 or 5:30, I get too sleepy, and then I take a nap for 1.5 to 2 hours. I wake up and have a snack, probably like a paneer cheese sandwich, and get ready for my second half of the day. This evening nap helps me get the energy I require for the rest of my day. Now you're probably wondering that when exactly is Ansh working? Well, to explain all of this in detail, we'd have to take a step back. Let me explain to you 3 ways I keep myself productive. Firstly, I do not work alone. I have a team of 5 people. When I started out, I used to do things slowly. But today, I have really talented people helping me out. If you are starting out, it's best to rely on 2 types of support: friends and AI. Before you start any big project, make sure you research about it and ask relevant friends. Second, I eat the kind of foods that keep my body energetic. This is pretty simple. Cut down on sugar and bad fats. Have some vegetables, nuts, and seeds daily, assuming you don't have any allergies. I've broken down this component in detail in our Fix Your Life playlist. Third, I find the 20% segment of the work that gets me 80% of the results. I regularly ask myself, why am I even doing this? Or why is this specific task the most valuable thing I should work on? Now, I need to tell you that 3 out of 7 days a week, I do not follow any strict schedule. But I'm enjoying this freedom now that I'm a full-time creator. For the first 3 years of my career, I worked 5 to 6 hours every single day, and I barely had any extra time for extracurricular activities. I feel like the first 3 to 4 years of any career's beginning is pretty harsh and tough, and you should not put too much pressure on yourself to be ultra productive. At the start of your career, you should focus on these 5 key components. Number 1, become really good at a skill that can help a business either save time or money. Build a habit of eating clean and exercising at least 3 times a week. Regularly document your learnings so that you become a better writer. Meet as many smart people as you can and listen to them more, rather than speaking or playing signaling games. Make sure you take good care of your skin, physique, and style. I know you get a lot of FOMO and feel anxiety about being stuck in your current job for the rest of your life. The truth is, what you're experiencing right now is a small scene in a TV show that will run for 20 seasons. Don't get too obsessed with having a very fancy daily routine. Take things slowly. Life is pretty long, And if you build a routine that checks all of these 5 key components in a span of 4 to 5 years, you'll automatically build good enough routines that will take you to your goals. Because nobody can give you a perfect routine that will work for you in all ways. I can inspire you, but I can never tell you what is best for you. Because your ideal routine would depend on 3 major variables. Number 1, your current priorities. Then your financial constraints. And in the end, your own personal environment. Alright, so this video would not be complete unless I actually show you how I use all of these apps. So what I've done is, I have started my screen recording. I'm going to show you how do I use Todoist and Structured and Notion together, because these 3 apps play a major role in just me managing my time in general. The first app that I will show you is Structured. Now, this is not a very detailed tutorial. I'm just going to show you how the app works. Basically, Structured is for calendar blocking, which means that you put certain allocations for every hour. You tell yourself that this timestamp in my entire day is dedicated for something specific. Now, for example, today is Saturday, and this is how I have split up my entire time. So from 7 to 8:15 there is pre-workout, and if I click on pre-workout, I can also add subtasks to it. So I have warm water, Wim Hof breathing, go over the schedule and affirm victory. That's just my way of just talking positively to myself. And soak almonds and chia seeds, because I soak them in the morning and then I have them in the evening. Now, it's not mandatory for you to follow this on all days. So for example, the way Structured works is that I can click on this plus icon and I can add a task. Let's just say write in diary. Then at the very bottom, I can click on continue, and then I can decide the timings. I can decide how long it would be. I can give it a color scheme, and then I can decide whether it's once or just daily or weekly or whatever it may be. So for example, I want to write on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. And then what you can do is you can have alerts. I do not have any alerts because I anyway, just keep checking the app. And then here I can add my subtasks. So if I click on subtasks, I can probably say open notebook, and then I can simply create the task. Now, the interesting part here is that I have split up my entire day into these brackets. And as I said in the video, I do not follow this schedule very, very strictly every single day. So I only follow this the day I have to get a lot of things done. Okay. I also don't keep myself restricted to just checking social media from 8:15 to 8:30 a.m. These are just guidelines. I break them and I follow them at my own will. So I just want to clear that out, because if you feel that I'm following this schedule every single day, it's just a misconception that you would have. Now, one important concept here is that I have not put direct or exact work items that I need to finish. So if I say 7:15 to 8:30 p.m. is deep work number 3, every night what I do is I would rename this deep work number 3 into the exact task. So for example, today is Saturday. So I will click on this edit task and probably say script, YouTube, video, and I will click on update task and I will select update this task only. So once I do that, I can basically just update this task. If I go on Sunday, you'd realize that the deep work component is still there. So I think Sunday I haven't put it, but maybe let's go on Monday. So Monday deep work number 3 is still deep work number 3. So you remember I said that I plan my day one night before. So this is my main structured way of, putting these items in proper chunks. So I know exactly what to focus on. Now, this is for calendar blocking, but then Todoist is for me keeping track of everything I need to do, whether it's today, tomorrow or day after. So I'll also not go too deep into this. I'll just quickly show you all the features I regularly use. Firstly, if I click on today, the way this works is that it's basically a list of things that you have to do or take care of. But the crazy part is that if I go to browse, here I have this thing called filters and labels. And these are all of my filters. Okay, let me explain them to you one by one. On the very top are meetings, because once I have scheduled a meeting, I cannot skip it. So meetings will always be on the top priority. Then I have work calls. This could be calls with my team members, with my editors, it could be anything. Then we have top priority. Basically, top priority are tasks that are absolutely mandatory for me. So if there's anything that I have to finish either today or tomorrow, if it's something very, very important, I keep it in top priority. And on the right side, you can see the number 16. I know that's very funny, but you should never have 16 tasks in your top priority. It's just that I've been traveling for a long time. So I've just been like putting things into top priority, and then I would sit for an hour and just, properly arrange them between meetings, generating tasks or editing and scripting. Now, after top priority, we have generic tasks. These are things that are related to work that I have to do, but they're not top priority. Then editing and scripting alone is a separate label altogether. Then we have small stuff. So small stuff is anything that requires less than 5 minutes of effort, and I club them together. So the hack here is that I have all of my items that take less than 5 minutes in this one single label. And I would allocate 1 hour of my day to finish all of these small tasks back to back. So that just keeps my brain very focused. Otherwise, if you keep tackling things as they come to you every day, you will just keep getting distracted. So the secret here is to not remember things in your brain, but basically put them here in Todoist so that you have a proper time span. So if I go to today, let me show you how my list looks like. On top priority, I have Fiverr plus Create. So basically, we're making 2 YouTube videos on these 2 websites. So I have to write the script, and that is top priority. Now, the interesting part is that even within top priority, I can select any of these tasks and I can rename them. I can select a date for them. And then in this priority column, I can set even further more priorities. So journaling can be, say, on priority number 3. Webflow restart can be on priority number 2. So that way I can have more hierarchy within the label as well. And to add something new, you just have to go on plus and let's just say upload videos on Drive. If I press @, I have all of my labels here. So I can simply put this into small stuff and click on this icon right here. So if you go to the very bottom, you would realize that all of my things are now added into small stuff. Now let me show you everything I have been adding on Todoist so that you understand what kind of tasks do I even put. So in top priority, I have Fiverr and Create Studio, which is my professional stuff. So obviously it would be on top priority. Then I have to restart Webflow because how to prompt domain is not working for some reason. Then I have to journal. I have a few calls with editors. I've been hiring new editors, so I want to interview them. I have to get a medicine bag and a wire bag. Mom has some phone issues. I have to email Ishan's friend. I have to email another person, check some people. So these are the kind of things that are pretty high priority for me. The fundamental rule here is that if there's anything that needs to be done in a timeline, it goes in top priority. Then I have generic tasks. Now these are tasks that I want to do, but there's no timeline for it. So I can do them at any point. So this involves, sending Anushka a bag, calculating some splitwise budget, speak to a dermatologist about my skin. There's some dandruff issue that's been happening. I am unable to find my supplements. So I want to ask my mom, where are they? So can you imagine if I have to remember something, if I have to ask my mom something, I don't disturb myself in my flow state. I would simply put it in Todoist that I want to ask this to mom. I would not pick up the phone and start asking her instantly. So all of those things are, just locked in this list. I'm not relying on my memory and I would still not miss anything important. Then in small stuff, these are things that are like less than 5 minutes, things that I don't even want to do, but I have to do them. Then buying list is a completely separate list altogether that only requires things that I have to buy. If I have to shop for a t-shirt, if I have to get something specific, everything comes under buying list. Within the buying list also, I set priorities because of course I have limited money, right? So I have to make sure that I prioritize the things that I have to buy first. And that also helps me, manage my money in some level. Then outside tasks, basically, if there's any task that requires me to step outside of my house, that comes under outside task. And we have delegation. Now, the important thing here is that I put everything that I can in delegation as soon as I wake up. And then I have a call with my team. As you saw in my schedule, I would have a call, say around 12 or 1 p.m. or so. And then I would just delegate all work as soon as I wake up. So I think delegation should be the first item. Here, delegation label is at the very bottom of the list. Now, the important thing to note here is that you see the order in which I've put these labels. So I can actually just reorder them. I can take any of these labels and sort of drag them in a specific order. And that is the order in which they will be visible here. So if I say I have a call with Aditi, who's my content strategist, and put this in meetings at 1:30 p.m., I can also do it daily. So now I will get a reminder every day at 1:30 p.m. daily, and then it would quickly come on the very top, right? So it's added to my inbox. It's tomorrow. Let me make it today, and then it'll be visible here. And it's on a loop, right? So you can add subtasks, you can add a description, you can add a location as well. There's a lot that you can do. I'm not covering that, but basically structured and Todoist help me manage all of my daily tasks and time. Now let me show you my iPhone's home screen. So on the very top, I have the structured widget. Then I have the Google Calendar widget that basically helps me understand what all calls I have. Then I have added a widget for Notion. So there are 2 pages in Notion. One is Aditi's list. Basically, these are all the tasks that I have delegated to Aditi because Aditi leads all of our content, all of our main work happens with her, right? So here on Notion, we have a table where column 1 is for name. column 2 is for duration, column 3 is for priority, then this is the update column that Aditi puts, and then there's a comment section, right, where she tells me what is the problem. So in our company, I believe that, we should not be spoon feeding each other, we should not be micromanaging. So I tell my team that anytime I want to give you any task, I keep putting it here in this Notion page. Access to this Notion page has been given to Aditi, so it's all running on cloud. After I have written the task, my next item is to put the duration, and then I have to put the priority order. Once I've put the priority order, then it becomes very easy for Aditi to sort of, share an update. These are some message templates that I've given to her. The other page is my own daily planner. So I think I've just offline, but basically I have this planner. I don't want to reveal the entire planner, but basically you can see the event team and the date, and that is all that is required for me as well. So I think this specific layout of widgets, this specific structure of all of these apps together really helps me make the most of my time. And of course, you don't have to do all of this in one single go. It's like an iterative process. Like, you should not put so much pressure on yourself to sort all of these things in the first attempt itself. My recommendations to you would be to watch our videos. There are 3 parts to this entire series. Part 1 was where I showed you how I've designed my environment. Part number 2 is where I have taught you how do I manage my energy and nutrition. And this video is part number 3, right? So you have to watch the entire series to make maximum use. And you've been asking for a very long time as to what kind of apps do I use and how do I use them. So I've literally shown you everything now very, very transparently. Let me know your favorite lesson in the comment section. More than 80% of you have still not subscribed to us, so make sure you click on subscribe and show us more support. We regularly make videos on personality development, prompt engineering, productivity, and a lot more. We've been training companies, corporations, and institutions all over the world, and this YouTube channel is there to help all of those students who cannot attend our live sessions. We've launched free learning platforms like howtoprompt.in to learn about AI, and learnUIUX.in to learn about Figma, product design, and design systems. With that being said, I hope that you are taking care of your mind and body. This is your dost Ansh Mehra signing out. If you want to learn UX psychology or product thinking for free, then these 2 videos right here will help you get started. I've explained all the basics from scratch.